This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
And we are back, man. Another beautiful day at the Waterboyz Show. What's up, B. Rich?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, it's just another great day and another good day to sit down with one of our legends, man. Not just one of our legends in the city of Atlanta, but one of NFL's legends, one of Athens, Georgia's legends, one of the state of Georgia's legends, and, of course, one of Atlanta's legends, man, one of the NFL legends, man. It just feels good to be able to do that, man.
Yes,
you know
it
what
does,
I mean?
man.
Yeah.
One of my personal friends, actually.
Yeah,
Known him
man.
for over 15 years, man.
Hey, man, so look, now you get to take some of those, because I know you asked a million questions. You get to
yeah.
take all those questions that you asked him on a personal note when y'all were just hanging out. Now you can put it here on the show, my brother.
Yes.
Yeah, so look, before we get into all that, we always got to do a little house business. Like we always say, this the time where we talk about digital currency. That's the time where you, look, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and after that, tell 10 more friends to holler at us so you can hear and learn about these blood pressure birds, also known as our Atlanta Falcons. Some people say those are Atlanta Hawks right now, the way they
Hey,
went
man,
out.
we could kind of like need to make a whole nother shirt for them.
Hey,
the same
I'm trying
saying.
to tell you, boy, because they ran a lot of people blood pressure up, man. But yeah, give us that digital currency, and what that does, it helps our visibility, helps people find the show. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from in the audio form, man, make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating. Let people know how you feel about the show. That helps our visibility, and it helps more people find our show. And then after that, make sure you go on over to 285clothing.com. If you're from the city of Atlanta, you already know what 285 is. Everything inside Atlanta is right there with 285 surrounding it. Make sure you go to the numbers 285clothing.com. You can get some Waterboyz Show merch. You can get some of the merch that's talking about those blood pressure birds. And we just dropped some brand new merch along with Atlanta culture. Came off of a skit that I did, which was the Move skit. And the shirt basically says, "Shut up or move, sincerely Atlanta." You know what I mean?
Especially them Knicks fans.
Hey, man, boy, we got to get them on up out of here,
move.
man. Yeah, man. So listen, make sure y'all shop with us at 285clothing.com. And now that that's out the way, bam, man. Oh, one announcement that I got to say. I'm sure people saw it on the intro. Man, the Waterboyz Show has now partnered with the Big Facts Network. Shout out to Screen, shout out to Bank, shout out to Derek over there, man. Let's give it up, man. We gotta get some clapping, man. We got the Waterboyz Show now affiliated and partnering with the Big Facts Network, man.
Now that's a big fact.
100%. And I'm happy to be there, man. And one of our first guests, man, that we talking to after this partnership, man, is one of the greats. I sat there and said, man, it's a legend inside of the city, a legend outside of the city, a legend in the state, a legend in the NFL, the defensive MVP from the NFC Conference Championship game in '99 that catapulted us to a Super Bowl.
So we got a person that took the Falcons to the Super Bowl on
Man, 100%. Man, I'm talking about whose forced fumble, man, like, to me, turned the momentum.
You giving it away.
In that game. Listen, man, look, not for everybody. Not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Listen. I'm talking about a coaching guru who has raised and coached some of your favorite NFL pass rushers. When I say raised, when it comes to the art of pass rushing and being birthed into a straight-up beast, he's helped raise some of NFL legends, man. I'm talking about, we got like some future Hall of Famers in there. We got some people who done their thing for the Falcons and teams all across the NFL. He's done his thing in media. He's done his thing in college at the University of Tennessee. Man, the list goes on and on and on. And, of course, like I said, he's one of our Atlanta Falcons, man. So without any further ado, let's give it up for the great Chuck Smith. Let's go, my guy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
What's up, Chuck?
You already know.
What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Be rich. I'm checking y'all out. But hold up real quick. You done started this show off talking about all the cool stuff. I like that. I like the love getting from the Falcons. But we're going y'all gonna say all that now, but a couple months ago, y'all talked about the greatest Falcon teams of all time.
Who is that? 2012, 2016.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, not my boy B and Playboy Trey.
Well, man,
look, I'm looking like, how they gonna put the Dirty Birds when everything that this culture is about, every name, every TV show.
That's a good point. Looking
at what we did, now I'm gonna pass it on. You just let you know, the Dirty Bird team, the original Dirty Birds. We was kind of taken aback. We need to get into that a little bit later.
Okay, no, look, we can
now.
get into it right now.
We need to talk about that.
So what the debate was about was who was the better team, the 2012 or 2016, and yes, the 1999 team did not get mentioned. So you go ahead. How do you feel like your team, the team that was the first Falcon team to make a Super Bowl, how do you feel like y'all were fair against either one of those teams?
Hold on, real quick. Let B Rich do it. He had a lot to say about it. Well, speak your truth.
Hey, man,
that's the one I really had to talk about. Speak your truth.
I feel like this, man.
Talk to your boy.
I feel like our boy, man of the year, man, Eugene Robinson put a damper on it, man, and it just made me have a mental block because it hurt so bad. So I forgot about the team because of you, Eugene.
Hey, man.
I'm just checking.
I mean, because now that you think,
what team you said was the best though?
I said
he
16.
said 16.
16.
Okay. I said 12.
Matt Ryan, Julio.
Okay, but I'm gonna say the great that team, the '98 team. When I think about it, it's a great team, inside out. Y'all had a solid line, solid defense, great coach, running back. I mean, y'all were all blue pill workers, man.
Yeah.
Y'all were lunchbox workers. Y'all came to work y'all came and got it done.
He don't like that.
Am I lying?
Look, he don't like that.
We had that workmanlike mentality.
Yes.
Right. I like
that's what I'm talking about. Like, y'all came to work. It was a grind. We gonna beat you up, man. It wasn't no 4-2 players out there running 4-2s. It was like Jamal Anderson, bam in your face. Chuck Smith, bam in your face. Lester Archibald, bam in your face.
What did disrespect?
Terrence Mathis, underrated. He wasn't the fastest, but he got it done.
Right.
Chris Chandler, journeyman quarterback, got it done.
Go ahead, Chuck. Chuck, you said it. You said it's disrespectful.
I need your perspective now.
Okay.
I just want to make sure the
Ray
team.
Okay.
I'm just interested.
Okay, so look, this why I was on that debate, and I have to be fair.
I didn't even think about the
So look, I'm gonna say this.
Because it was such a hurt.
Now listen, I'm gonna say this. Now I will say this. We didn't really say what was the best Falcon team ever. I will say that. We never said that in that debate. We just pinned those two teams against each other, but I can see how it was taken that way, and we didn't mention the 98 team. So listen, I will say this. In that debate, I took 2012.
Hey, so he the host.
It's all good. I'll take it. I'll take
He
it.
the host. It's his fault.
I would take it. I would take it. Okay, so listen. Here we go. I'll say this. 2012 didn't make a Super Bowl, and people, they going to kill me for it. But I think I'm going to still roll with the 2012. Now listen. Now listen.
You got to go Super Bowl versus Super Bowl.
Now listen. Oh, okay. I mean, we can. Now listen. 2012, they could not run the ball anywhere near what the 98 team could do. They couldn't. By that time, Michael Turner, he wasn't the same Michael Turner he was in 2008 when he first came to the Falcons. I think he told us he was dealing with some kind of injuries that season. And then Jacquizz Rodgers. So the running game, y'all had us at that. But hey, y'all had Big Chuck Smith, which is you. We had John Abraham in 2012.
Legend.
You know what I'm saying? Legend. So y'all look, y'all had a linebacking core that was serious. I probably got to give it to them with the linebacking core. I gotta give it to them with the linebacking core. No, hold on. I think the secondary in 2012. If I'm rolling with that, and when I say I'm saying the team I'm rolling with in that particular debate. I think the secondary in 2012 was an awesome secondary.
Who was the safeties on 98? It was,
of course, Eugene.
Will White, Eugene Robinson.
All right, and then the other cornerback was
Ronnie Bradford and Ray Buchanan.
Bradford wasn't no hoe.
I didn't say he was.
He said he no.
I didn't say he was.
The defensive line.
But you had Dante Robinson and Asante Samuel. Like that's pretty good. Then you had Willie Moore back there.
And keep what?
Thomas Daku. You had Thomas Daku.
I forgot about Daku.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man, but they made it to the Super Bowl. I did say this.
Who you gonna take quarterback wise? Now when it come to a quarterback,
Matt Ryan.
Who you gonna take?
I'm gonna take Matt Ryan. But Chris Chandler, man, back then, I swear to God, no, let me talk. Back then, and you can attest to this. when Chris Chandler, I remember this, when Chris Chandler went back and he made his mind up, it was always completed 80% of the time, bro. Like he'd come back and he going, I was amazed. I got so used to that, I was expecting all the Falcon quarterbacks to be like that. I was like, oh, he made up his mind. And it wasn't like that. Chris Chandler, man, when he got back and he had his read, am I lying?
Okay.
Am I lying?
Look, go,
Everything you guys are saying is 100% factual. I'm with you.
So listen,
I'm with you.
me and B have stated a lot, and look, I can't understate Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, Julio Jones, Harry Douglas. I can't understate that, but
Tony Gonzalez.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, Tony
but you
Gonzalez.
go ahead, Chuck. It's your turn.
We had OJ Santiago.
Y'all did. Yeah, but you go ahead, Chuck.
Look at B. Rich Smart. Look, man, with the side eye.
OJ
started
was a
the Dirty
beast.
Bird.
You're going to say Tony Gonzalez, you're going to say, yeah, we had OJ Santiago.
No, Santiago was a beast.
I know you, B. I've been knowing you for 15 years, dog. Don't play with your boy like that.
But you go ahead, Chuck. You say you felt it was disrespectful.
Yeah.
Tell us
I'm
and the
speaking
people
up
why.
For the Dirty Bird, the original Dirty Birds, okay? That's all I'm going to say. 2012, incredible team. Abe should be in the Ring of Honor, incredible player. To me, he's a Hall of Famer. You know, his day is coming. You know, looking at 16, Matt Ryan, MVP, Julio Jones, legend. You talked about, you know, some of the great players they had. Now, let me just show you what separates from us when it's really not even close.
Let's go.
Number one, we went, 14-2. Okay?
Did.
Period.
Y'all lost to the Jets and the 49ers.
There you go. Period. All right. Now let me break it down. First thing is, every one of the pass rushers in the bomb squad were double-digit sackers at different times in their career. Matt Ryan's beat up. Anybody in Falcon history is beat up. Remember, I had double. Lester Archambault had doubles. Think about it. We had Travis Hall. He had doubles. Double-digit sacks. You understand what I'm saying? We had Shane Dronette, beast, understanding where he was at, right? Don't forget what I'm saying now. We had the greatest linebacker in Falcons history, and Jesse Tuggle made the Pro Bowl.
100%.
Got MVP votes that year. Remember, broke records in tackles, okay? Let me keep going for y'all boys, all right? We're going to set the table right?
Go ahead.
I know you from the Attic crew, but I'm about to bring you to the basement.
Okay, let's do it.
How about that? How about shout out to Polo Sean Paul back in the 90s, boy. All right, but look. Now, let's get a little more medieval with it.
Okay.
We had the best safety in the game in Eugene Robinson. Yep, he let folks down. Don't forget, he's a Pro Bowler.
No, he was.
We had the best cornerback in the NFL at that point, Ray Buchanan, Pro Bowler. All right.
Big play.
Ronnie Bradford played 10, 11 years in his prime at the time. William White got Pro Bowl votes as well.
Forgot about him.
I know. Cornelius Bennett, we got him. He was incredible.
Yeah.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Biscuit.
All right, Biscuit. Now let's move on to the other side. Let's talk about the Falcon deep. Let's talk about what Abe going to do. I like a good matchup. I like Bob Whitfield, another Ring of Honor guy in Atlanta Falcons history, 15 years in the NFL, okay? Bob Whitfield on the blind side. Inside of that, we had Robbie Toback, who became a legend in Seattle. We let him go a little too early. All right, looking at the team, Ephraim Salaam in his prime. All right, something that's just from that standpoint.
Salaam went to the Raiders, didn't he?
Yeah.
But go ahead, yeah.
You talk, now let's get to this. You just talked about the quarterback. There's no question. Matt Ryan, one of the greats. Hall of Famer, excited about what he's going to do for the Falcons. Chris Chandler was an All-Pro that year. Chris Chandler was a Pro Bowler. So when we look at that, that's a push. He had an MVP-type season. There were people that talked about Chris Chandler that year for an MVP. All right, now, I'm going to close the door on y'all guys a little bit more. Remember, bringing you to the basement, right? We're out the attic. So look, Be Rich. Both of our receivers, we had 2,000-yard receivers. I love me some Julio. Remember, we had 2,000-yard receivers, and the guy, Terrence Mathis, that's underrated, and he's one of the greatest Falcon receivers of all time.
Awesome.
So from that standpoint, looking at there, remember?
Who was the other receiver? Martin?
Tony Martin.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. And then throw this, and then to finish it off really technically, Jamal Anderson almost ran for 2,000 yards.
Did.
Straight up beast.
Arguably the greatest season as a running back. Matter of fact, I'll say it was the greatest season as a running back in history.
In history?
In Falcons history.
Oh, Falcon history. All right, yeah.
But not history. I ain't trying to go there. So when you look at the landscape, there's no one even close. We were 14-2. We beat a team that was 15-1 in their home, on their turf.
That was the greatest Falcon win ever. I already said that.
Right.
I said
we beat
I gave
Steve Young.
Yeah.
We beat all these guys. We annihilated the Saints. So when you look at that book of work and what we did, led the league in rushing, think we were second or first in sacks. Most turnovers probably in Falcons history somewhere along the line. I know we ran the ball, but the 2,000-yard receivers, you can, all right, now, don't throw OJ in the mix with that. Now that's the right recipe. And let me just finish this off where there's no debate. Falcon fans watching this, I love the debate, and I respect those teams. They're incredible teams. We had the greatest kicker in the history of NFL, Morton Anderson, a Pro Bowler.
I give you that.
So when that conversation come up about them dirty birds, put some respect on our name, right?
Okay.
Put some respect on our name.
All right,
Look,
then.
I'm just going to leave it at that.
So look,
All right, then.
I'm
All
gonna leave it
right,
at
then.
that.
Boy, you told me Rick.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
hey, look, I'm a big time Falcon fan, and I want to go back to that. All right, let's talk
back.
about it, bro.
Let's go.
I remember, man, I was so excited, man. We in the Super Bowl. Y'all went to Minnesota and y'all pulled it off when nobody thought it could be done. The last quarter, you were the one to make the play to knock the ball out around the Cunningham hands, and somehow we pulled it off. My question: we're in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
We're playing a team I hate. I hate the Broncos. I hate them. That's the team I hate the most. I lived in Denver for 4 years. I hate it. So, question: It's Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl. It's pre-Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Y'all excited. Everybody getting their rest. You get the call. Eugene Robinson gets arrested. Did that affect us in losing the Super Bowl? Tell me your thoughts, your feelings, what you thought. How did it affect the team? Because I really want to know.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. It's the first time anyone ever asked me that about how we got to that point. So I wake up the next morning, I'm at breakfast. So I'm just sitting at breakfast the morning of the Super Bowl. I'm sitting at the table, me, Bob Whitfield, it was Jesse, and it was Jamal Anderson. So we're sitting at the table, and Jamal's bringing his food back, and Jam says, man, did you hear what happened last night? I was like, nah, man, I was knocked out. You know, my mind said I was ready for the game. Because when we went down there, I'll just say this, part of the Atlanta came out in us with the event, meaning Atlanta came to Miami like came. So a lot of the guys, you know, they got opportunities to do things, and kind of some of the guys maybe weren't as, I'd say, focused as they needed to be, right? So Jamal comes to me and says, he said, man, Eugene got arrested. I was like, for real? And it was hard, you know, it was stunning, particularly before the game. But my first thing thought process was like, man, I've been working a long time. And Jesse was there too, man. We've been working a long time just to get to the Super Bowl, like to be relevant, you know. And so when they said that, then everybody kind of, you know, talked about it. And it was just a little different aura. It really was. And so as we move forward, then I learned that when Eugene got arrested and early in the morning, there was a big meeting that I was knocked out. But some of our top guys were in there. You know, he was speaking his truth and, you know, obviously distraught and things like that. And there were guys that were up, you know, just trying to be there for their brother, you know. And then also some of the guys that we had in our leadership council, and I was one of the guys and I wasn't in there, but it came down to at one point, should he play in the game? You know? So we end up having that morning meeting. He comes in the morning meeting in front of the whole team, and he talks about, you know, he apologized and all this stuff. And this is the morning of the Super Bowl. Can you imagine? Man, I've been working all these years to get the dang Super Bowl, and this kind of happens. So I would say it affected maybe some guys mentally from that standpoint that were around that circle, you know. But everybody played hard. But I just think, in fairness to the other team, they were incredible. You know, do we beat those guys that day? I think if everything's perfect, yeah, I really do. But I don't think the impact of it was as much as you think from that standpoint, because Denver, look at you got Hall of Fame running back, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Famers across the board. So, and I always like to make sure you give them credit, but there's no denying that it affected, you know, listen, football's about getting in a routine and doing things the same. That routine was broken. So it's hard for me to say how it affected everybody, but as a team, there was things that were done that wasn't in the same routine as the kind of the Dirty Bird group that we would do.
I just remember Mike Shanahan scheming Eugene, you know, and I just don't know if his head was in the game. Yeah. And I just football's a game of momentum and confidence, and I just feel like that. Like Eugene was the quarterback of the defense. Am I right?
Yes.
And so, if Chris and Jesse, if
more the safety,
Eugene's lining up everybody, and what beat us? The passing, like
Yeah.
the deep, like it was a close game up until that long touchdown. It wasn't. Y'all, we weren't getting blown out. It was a close game.
Yeah.
And Eugene made a mental error somehow. I just remember it was his fault. And everybody's saying because of the incident, that's why. But we don't know if that's why or not. Maybe Mike did something special. But that right there, that's why I ain't say y'all, man, because I don't like to remember that.
Well, listen.
I respect that.
I gotta say again, it was not a debate on what was the best Falcons team ever. It was.
I didn't even think about 19. I'm gonna be honest.
That's because the discussion was who do you think will win in the game, 2012 versus 2016. Now, if I'm Chuck and I'm watching that, I would say too, like, the hell he mean? Why they not talking about our team?
But I will say this: if the 16 team had the 98 defense, by Tom Brady would have been
2012 would have had the 98 defense. What I'm saying,
you right there too.
So what I'm saying, yeah, of course, if we pick the best parts off of each team and put them together,
we had a perfect
we would have a perfect. So look, I want to go back to before you guys made the Super Bowl. Coming into that game against the Vikings, even though you guys were 14-2, I think around most media circles, at least what I was hearing at that time, and even just talking to people, even certain Falcon fans, everybody act like it was a foregone conclusion that Minnesota was going to win the game. It was all maybe because what the offense was in Minnesota. I think some of that is also the perception of the Falcons, period, and just like, oh man, the Falcons not going to get it done. So just 2 questions. How was it going into that game? What was the mentality from you guys' standpoint as you were approaching that game, and how you felt you could stand up and play against them? And then after you share that, tell us, how was it and what was the momentum play that you feel like turned the game, whether it was your strip sack or whatever that felt like, okay, now we got this thing. We got them now.
Right. Well, the first thing is, I think the only people that thought we was going to win and we had a chance in Minnesota was Atlanta fans.
Wow.
We was locked in because Atlanta fans had seen us overcome the Niners. From 94 on up, 94 on up, the Niners they just destroyed us. So there are things that we were overcoming as we move forward, because people also, another team we kind of had to overcome, believe it or not, was the Carolina Panthers. When they brought them into the league, the NFL, the NFL gave them all these good players, let them pick from teams. Remember, the Carolina Panthers, they came in the league, their second year, they was in the Super Bowl or NFC Championship. You know what I'm saying? So the Falcon fans was riding with us, and I'll say the thing about it, no one around the league really truly gave us a chance, and I'll tell you one reason why: because of parity. There was not parity in the National Football League where you didn't see a Saints go to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? The Rams never made it to the Super Bowl. It was the same teams that seemed to go. The Niners, all they talk about was the Cowboys, the Giants in the early 90s, the old Redskins, Green Bay, Denver started getting back in the mix. So we kind of added parity, to it. And then I think a lot of people around the country, I don't think people truly liked our team because we was really the first true hip-hop team. We in Atlanta. This back in the day, man, we live. You know what I'm saying? We like the whole culture of Atlanta. They rolling with us. We wasn't wearing do-rags like Prime. We was wearing ski mask hats coming out there like that, like cats. We had stockings, man. We cutting the stocking, putting the knot on it, be rich. That's how we was rolling. Yeah. We was in the community. Because you got to remember in 98, and I'm going to get back to answering that question because it all loads back to why we were underdogs and why people didn't believe in us and want to believe in us. Because you got to look at, remember, this is Atlanta. Me and Bob Whitfield, we got here when this thing kind of really, we was building this championship mindset. Bro, this is an era of, like we said, Added Cruz, Big Oomps, Jermaine Dupri's, all these different, cultures, Andrew Jackson, Bill Campbell, the whole culture. So Atlanta was starting to get that reputation of what? Chocolate City. So remember, people, when they seeing us, we dancing. You seeing, you know what I'm saying? You
the
seeing
Dirty Bird.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You seeing like Jamal, him and JD. You seeing me at that event. I'm rolling up I'm hanging out with Rico and them. You know what I'm saying? T-Mo Goody. Them, you know what I'm saying? All these cats, man, from back in the day across the board. You know what I'm saying? So the world started finally get to see, man, that's that Freaknik, where they from? So remember, Minnesota, it ain't Atlanta. So the people around the country, they didn't really want to see it like that. So we was underdogs from the culture. Nobody wanted to believe in us except the people in Atlanta because they had seen us grow. But remember, we weren't on TV like that.
Yeah.
So people didn't really get to see us like that. Then all of a sudden, here they go, one big year, boom, this whole culture. These cats is really good. So that kind of, overshadowed it a little bit. So when we go in there, man, nobody believed in us at the end of the day because they had, Hall of Famers and all that too. But we did believe, man, because the one thing, again, what Dirty Bird really means, man, we some head busters. When we said that, when OG and Jam, that is the meaning. When people, all the fans still ride with the Dirty Birds and understand the real message was it, we some head busters. And that's how we thought about it. And we knew we could destroy cats because we was real physical, real violent about the game. And we knew we could match up. And that's the only way you can match up with some of those teams that we talked about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the Dirty Birds was. We willing to do whatever it takes to win. You know what I'm saying? But we also was fresh like that.
Yeah.
So no one gave us a chance. But when we went in there, the reason why we won the game was we were persistent, we were confident, we could control the ball. Jamal, it wasn't a killer day for us on the run, but they didn't make turnovers. We didn't have any false starts, which is historical. In that game, they broke the record that year for other teams with false starts. Our team was so disciplined, there were no false starts. None. Zero on our part. So we went in there, man, and we knew we could beat those dudes because we had great players. Here's the crazy part about that. We were just talking about the great teams and all that, and we were talking about the comparisons. We had all those dudes too. We had 2,000-yard receivers. We had the best running back in the game. We had a Pro Bowl quarterback. We had, a cornerback and a safety that was in the Pro Bowl. We had Jesse Tuggle. How y'all ain't gonna think we can come here and win? And when we beat them dudes, as soon as we got to Minnesota, we first got there, me, Jamal, and Bob went to the Mall of America, the big mall. We actually went to the mall. Man, why did we do that? Man, them folks was going crazy. The police had to get us an escort because we were used to going to the mall. Man, the police got an escort, got us up out of there, man, because we was like going shopping.
They about to break your leg.
Man, them folks was salty.
Wow.
So a lot of it has to do with the disrespect had to do with because there was no parity. No one really wanted to see a team doing the dance. Remember, you got to remember this back then. Nobody went with the NFL was the true no fun league. You ain't supposed to be Dirty Bird and dancing. People, they talking about the Dirty Bird, man. We still had cats on the team. We still bankhead bouncing.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, I'm just telling you, we doing all them kind of just all the Atlanta stuff. So people, they showing out. They trying to stand up. They ain't that good. They a gimmick. But for that 1 year, we wasn't no gimmick. We wasn't able to keep it going. But for that 1 year, we're one of the best teams the NFL has ever seen. And for that 1 year, we really matched up well with those guys. But B. Rich, I do respect what you're saying about how the impact of what happened to Eugene put a dark cloud over it. But I think over the years.
What you pointing out, shit, man, was a great team. Like I have to rethink that. We have to go back and do all three teams. Mm-hmm. But I want to say this, man. You know how I knew you was going to be a player? And I know you sent us the bio, but this is from me remembering. Larry Munson. I was in my blue Cutlass. I was driving, and y'all was playing the Green Bay Packers, your rookie year. And you sacked the Magic Man. You remember that?
Yeah.
You sacked the Magic Man. And Larry Munson, was that your rookie year?
It was it the playoffs?
No. It was a regular game. It was a regular season game.
Yeah, it was early on.
I don't remember what game it was, but you was getting some playing time. They put you in, you was getting some playing time, and you was giving the Magic Man hell. And Larry Munson was like, oh, we got one. No. He may not be a dog, but we got one. He's talking because you were
yeah.
And you sacked Magic Man and caused that play. And I don't know if we won the game, but I just remember, man, I'm going to look into this dude, Chuck Smith, man. This dude right here, man, because you just kept, like, back-to-back plays, man. You was giving them pressure, sacking them, and stuff like that. So I knew you was going to be a player because of Larry Munson, man. He put you on the radar for me.
I tell you, I'm from Athens, Georgia. In 1980, speaking of Larry Munson, what helped me and changed, in 1980, Georgia won the national championship. I'm from Athens, Georgia. That lit a fire in me. When Herschel and them was running, the dogs running. So you in Athens, everybody played youth ball. And it was all about being physical. And here's another thing. When you young And I'm gonna say something. You can relate to this. A lot of people they're gonna hear this. And they're gonna say, "Wow," especially older generation. In 1980, when you were light skinned and black, people treated you like you were soft.
Facts.
People
It's a
still
fact.
do that, unfortunately.
It's a fact. It's been a stereotype forever. So back then, I used to get picked on all the time. But guess what? I'll never forget this like it was yesterday. My dad said, "Hey man, when you talk to him, son, you tell him, man, don't let my color whoop your ass." So I played. I had to be tougher, man. It's being real. When you light skinned back in them days, people used to pick on you. You know what I'm saying? So growing up there had to be physical. And my thing was being the most violent physical player. I'm willing to do whatever. Be rich. I'm willing to knock you out. My mind frame. I'm willing to knock y'all two out, Playboy Trey. When I played, I'm willing to knock you out to knock myself out. I do whatever it was. And that's what my mind frame from junior college to Tennessee to the Falcons to be the most violent player ever. And I can say it now. I'm a little older. You know, there's no one in Falcon history that played as violent and did what I did.
I mean,
No one.
pudding.
It's been good players, but when it comes to the violence and the things that you need to do to change a culture, in '92 when I came in here, those 2 years, I was a DPR pass rusher, but we had already took over the team at the end of the day. They made the changes, me and Bob, the guys who came in, and so that was my mindset, man, and it's always been that way, and I had to learn because you on the field, they're gonna line me. When they do bull in the ring, first person they're gonna put in there. Then I went to Clark Central High School. We some dogs. Went to 3 state championships. Won
team.
one. I know I don't get to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? State champs. So playing at a high level, and I go to these other places. But Larry Munson's funny. You said that he was our play-by-play. He was a play-by-play guy back then. You won, right? You hit one right there.
Old
B.
school
Rich.
fan.
You
Look,
did.
I don't want to miss. I don't want us to miss the one question because that NFC Championship game against the Vikings was so pivotal. So I mean, tell us, like we love when people come on the show and they break down the play.
Yeah.
Break down that defensive play you made, the strip sack. Break it down, like what you saw, what you were looking for, how you ended up at that moment, and what were you thinking after you made that play.
Well, on that play, the momentum had changed. They were rolling. Remember, Randall Cunningham is the all-pro quarterback, offensive player of the year, and they had us reeling. You know, they were go up probably by 2 touchdowns. And on that play, my thought was I won't say desperation, but the mindset was, let's take a calculated risk. And what that means is I kind of knew with the snap count, they kept getting into a rhythm. As a pass rusher, you'll notice a quarterback will get into a rhythm. You'll hear his cadence. Everything will kind of be the same. The way the tackle moves, the way the call comes in. And I kind of thought they were going to take a shot, take a deep pass, and they did it because we had game plan that all week. When they're backed up inside their 50, they're going to take a shot. So we kind of knew that from scouting. And I said, let me take a calculated risk, and I jumped the count. I really jumped the count, and I was going on first sound. No matter what he said, set, go. So they kept saying, set, go. And I knew when they said set, as soon as right before he said go, I went. And when you see it, Todd Stussy doesn't get back quick enough, and I was going to power him. And I had already generated momentum. So when Todd's kicking back, I powered into him. That's why he was shocked when I hit him. And he opened up his hips, and Randall had his long arm. He went all the way back. And you're always taught to reach, you know what I'm saying, strip, rip. So I took that calculated risk, and I stripped him, and thank God Lester ended up recovering the fumble. I did take a risk, and at that time knew there was a possibility that was going to happen. But I was always willing to take risk, and I knew, when you're one of the captains of the team, me and Jesse, we out there, Jesse's out there, Chucky, let's go. We got to get this. We got to make a big play. I'm sorry, hold up. Chucky. That's Jesse. Yeah. Chucky, come on, man, we got to get this thing going.
You sound like him, bro.
That's my dog, Jesse, so he was like, coming back to the huddle, and I just took a calculated risk, and it's amazing to this day how many people, Falcon fans, still talk about that play with me, and I'm always grateful that I was able to help us.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's a couple plays, man. The final drive to tie the game. O.J. Santiago caught a ball right around like the 40-50. That was a big play.
That was huge. Huge.
I think it was a third down.
Huge.
Yeah, Terrence Matthews.
Yeah, see, Tony wouldn't have caught it. I'm just messing.
Hey,
I'm just messing with him.
I'm
just messing with him.
Hey, all right, relive the moment, man. Morton Anderson.
Yes.
He's coming to kick the field goal to win. Like, this is what every kicker dreams about. You kicked game-winning field goal for the Super Bowl. I remember what I was doing. I remember who I was with. I remember where I was at. I remember how I felt. What were you thinking? Like, tell me what you was doing, where you was at, and what you was thinking. Did you watch? Did you close your eyes? Were you holding hands? Tell me what you had going on.
Well, I was holding hands, but before that, when Gary Anderson, I got to tell you this, when Gary Anderson lined up to kick the field goal, we was cussing him out. You about to choke? You about to choke?
Oh, you was on the field?
Oh, yeah. Cussing him out, I'm ashamed, Jeanette.
Hold on. Start over now. Gary Anderson for the Vikings comes out to kick. Now, what happened?
Now, remember, this is, at the time, he's considered the greatest kicker of
He
all
ain't missed
time.
the field goal all year.
And we're cussing him out, talking, over the top, just talking straight trash. Because, again, we talk hella trash, the Dirty Birds. And it wasn't just the ones that you always see. Travis Hall talk trash, man. Shane Drenette talk trash. Henry Crockett, them Biscuit, we was talking trash. We cussed him out, trying to get in his head. That's all you can do at that point. When he missed that kick, we cussed him out like a dog. We cussed him out like a straight buster. And then when it came to our time for Morton to kick, I was on the sideline holding hands, and the crowd was just incredibly loud. They're Minnesota, they're the fever pitch, hoping. This is their dream seasons. You got to remember all the years of failure they've had.
Yeah.
And so it all comes out, man. And I'm holding hands, and when Mort kicked it, it just was like slow motion. I was just looking. And I jumped up, and he hit it, and everybody ran. We ran on the field. I had left my helmet on the side. First person I see is Jesse. I run. We hug each other. Hammer still had his helmet on. Mine was off. Hammer ain't but 5'10" now. I'm 6'3".
Yeah.
We hug. Hammer helmet that hit me in the mouth. My mouth bleeding. We hugging. Chucky, we did it. We did it, Chucky. Jesse always gets that, the tug. But, I'll be messing with him. But we hugged. It was the most incredible feeling, and you have never seen a crowd. I watched the crowd. I watched 70,000 people literally in tears. It was the greatest loss. And to this day, when I see Chris Carter, any of them old cats from the Vikings, they can't. It's just one of the worst memories that you can ever have. But it was incredible for us. We get done. We get on that plane. We land in Atlanta. It's at least 20,000 people at Hartsfield, Jackson. Back then it was just Hartsfield. I remember the first person we seen that made Dikembe Mutombo rest in peace. This is how unified the city was. We get off that airplane, the first person you see there just showing love, Dikembe came to the airport.
That's awesome.
All the Braves players, all the basketball players, entertainers, and I'm not just talking about rappers. I'm talking about politicians, everyday cats. Hey, the hustlers. Everybody was, because it was a movement.
I got Chuck. Hey, look,
listening to this,
Chuck.
man.
That night I went up to Swanee, and I was out there with my girlfriend Kathy.
It was crazy.
And we was up there. Y'all was just walking with. They was just no security. It had to be thousands of people on Swanee. I was there. They just walking around. See Terrence Matthews, see Chuck, see everybody just dapping people, hugging people. Man, that was like one of the greatest times I had being a Falcon fan, going up to Swanee after they won the Super Bowl. And later on that night, 12 in the morning, 1 in the morning, they're at Flowery Branch. The fans are, it's no security. Everybody just loving and hugging the Falcons.
Every time I hear when B. Rich brings this story up, and then not hearing it from your perspective, I think about how there's such a negative perception and stigma on the city of Atlanta that Atlanta sports fans aren't real sports fans. Yes, I'm here to tell anybody who's listening, we are real sports fans. We just want a consistent winner. And when a winner is on the field, man, it's no vibe like it. I can't tell you what your city is like, but this city, when there's a winner on the field with the Falcons, Hawks, Braves, but especially the football, oh my God, man, it goes crazy, man.
Hey,
we
Chuck,
go crazy.
What year were you drafted by the Falcons?
92.
So you was on that 92 team with Deion?
Yep. I got there 92, 93. I was with Deion, and he left, went to the Niners. I played 2 years with Deion.
So what year did
Was
you
Favre
leave?
there too?
Yeah,
No, Favre left the year before I was there.
Okay.
They traded Brett for the pick that got Tony Smith. He was
Okay.
a first rounder that year out of Southern Miss.
So, and what year was your last year with the Falcons?
2000. I
So-
played 8 years, so really 92
So
to 2000.
you're one of the few players that actually played with Deion Sanders and Michael Vick.
I didn't play with Michael.
Okay,
Vick.
I thought you played with Vick.
I was on the back when Michael got here. I went to Carolina. I was there just long enough to open up a bag of Doritos. Wasn't long, just to open up a bag of Doritos. But I was doing media when Mike got here, so I kind of did that. But I'm one of the few people, and I'm so proud of this. I got to see the Too Legit to Quit. You know, I got to be a part of the Dirty Birds, in which are the two incredible eras in Falcon football.
Tell us what it was like playing with Deion Sanders, man, one of the greatest Falcons of all time.
It was incredible because Deion was like a true rock star, the first one that I really ever seen like that in the NFL. And when we traveled, when you got to a hotel, there were hundreds and hundreds of people there to see him.
Really?
Yeah, because Deion, especially when we go places like Tampa, you got to remember, again, in this 90s era where the South is looked at differently, nobody seen no dude with chains and jewelry and hanging out with rappers and things like that. But when you played with Deion, first, let me just tell you about the guy. The guy is incredible. I mean, the thing I like about him now, he is the same genuine who he is, the way he carries himself. He is an honest, truthful, good dude. And Prime looked out for us, man. Prime, when we got there, literally, he took me and Bob Whitfield in real early, because we could relate. Because most you got to remember this, you know, in '92 when you get there, we're just coming out of the '80s. You know, people kind of SOS band, you know what I mean, Run DMC kind of era. And Deion, when he got there, so when Deion got there, me and Bob were like in the hip hop. You know, me and Bob came in, we wasn't with, you know, the old school type of old school rap. We we rocking with, you know, all the stuff that's going on, you know, the new school stuff. So Prime, he took a liking to us because we was all in the rap. Prime was in the rap. You know, so Deion just used to really, when I was a rookie, Deion, we was going to 112, we was going to all these clubs and stuff like that, me and Bob, we was young. So Deion, you know, back then, I don't drink now, but back then, I used to drink. Deion didn't drink. Deion used to really try to look out for us and, you know, keep us from doing that kind of stuff, because this man was training. Deion did his social stuff, but Deion wasn't the guy who was in the club, turning up, busting bottles and that kind of thing back in the era, you know what I'm saying? But so we were doing that, and I always remember Deion telling me, because first 2 years, I was basically, you know, I was a rusher, but I was kicking in the city, being from Athens, kicking it in Athens, so I'm close. I got a lot of distraction, things like that. So Deion, at one time, Tiny was here, Debo.
Debo.
Tiny lived in Atlanta. Tiny was in Atlanta because him and Deion was close friends with, seemed like everybody, because he was a celebrity.
Yeah.
And being with Deion, you got to meet a lot of people. So what Deion did when I would be out, one night I was drunk. I was hanging out, right? I forgot where I was at. Probably 112. So all of a sudden, Debo, Big Tiny, came and grabbed my keys. Prime, Prime had him keeping an eye out on me, right? So he drove me home, you know, back in the day, and Deion had a role in that. Deion would also, he had his wife back in the day when he was married to Carolyn, because, you know, checkers is breakfast. Checkers, I'm going to games eating checkers. He was highly trained, so Deion's wife, when Deion was playing baseball, he'd be away. Man, he would let me go over to the house, and she would cooking food and whatever she had, because she could cook. He was just looking out. Prime, man, took us everywhere. You know, how I met Suge Knight, how I met Tupac, how I met Snoop, you know what I mean? And how I met Hammer, how I met, you know, all these guys. Prime would take us, and he was trying to school us on how to be a professional. And he said, Chuck, if you keep doing things that other guys are doing, you won't have the success. So then I changed. He goes to San Fran. I transitioned. Even then, this is a crazy story, but I gotta give Prime his flowers. In '94, he's with the Niners. I'm rolling. I'm sacking, killing Steve Young. I score a touchdown in the game. So I end up getting the wind knocked out of me. So I'm laying on the ground. And remember, I'm on defense. Prime, I'm on defense. So Ron Metlin and our training staff from the Falcons come out. I look up. I'm on the ground like this. I hear somebody say, "Face." Deion used to call me Face because, as you can see, I got a big face. Face. They said, "Face, get up." He came off the sideline. He's not even supposed to be on the field, and told me to get up. He said, "Man, you want to make this money? Chuck, get up." I got up, kept going, and that's just one of the many stories about Deion Sanders that, we used to do freestyle. When we ride in the cars, we used to freestyle. Hey, man,
I never heard this story, man. I just talked to you about a lot of stuff. I never heard.
Yeah, because there's so many things that that we, like me and you, how we're friends in a lot of different avenues, and it's just one of those things that when I get on the radio or TV, people have initially it was stopping me because it's football, as a player. Then eventually it became me as a radio, TV personality in the city. Then eventually became me as a pass rush trainer. So when you do so many things, people, when they got to that last stop, would always be about what? Pass rush. Mm-hmm. So a lot of stories. I got a million stories. I mean, from Deion, and when Deion went to the Omni, Janet Jackson performing. Deion take us with him. Now before that, we had like the Marriott Marquis. So we go upstairs. He knocks on the door. It's Suge, Snoop, the Dog Pound. Wow. And I'm gonna throw this back. This is where y'all gonna remember this, especially y'all hip hop heads in Atlanta. Illegal.
I remember the young group.
Illegal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They was with, I think, I don't even know if it was Death Row at that time, but Deion.
I remember the young
all
group.
Those guys were friends with Prime.
Wow.
Listen, everybody Prime took the world by storm.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's why people was rocking suits like that. Baseball players, football players. So we go up in this room, and we're gonna go to the Janet Jackson concert.
Okay.
And we get in the thing. We come down with the bottom of Marriott Marquis right on Peachtree. So we standing there, Corrupt. This is when they just, they coming hot. Snoop, young Snoop with the afro, Corrupt freestyling. This cop tried to battle Atlanta APD gonna try to battle Corrupt. I was like, you know what I'm saying? So we there. We end up going to the thing. Illegal. They were young cats, and so we get to the Omni. We come in the back door. Now Prime. This is Prime. About 93, 94, somewhere in there when Snoop had. I don't know if Doggy Style, it might have been before that.
Yeah.
This thing is packed. Janet Jackson in Atlanta. At that time, biggest star in the world. Dude, we walked through that thing, man. We came through the bottom of the Omni. First, I think it was Billy, and Deion's another cat named Blackberry, who was one of Hammer's people, was with him, and I think it was Hammer's brother who's got big in the game too, who was a powerhouse. And that's a whole nother story. Hammer. The Hammer y'all see ain't the Hammer that
Louis Burrell.
Yeah, Lou. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Louis. We walk up in the Omni here in Atlanta, Prime walk out that thing, man. The whole crowd just goes, they put a little camera on him, and Snooping him back there. I'm walking next to Prime. I'm excited. I'm just a little dude. Then all of a sudden, here comes Snoop. Corrupt. Suge. The crowd just got quiet. This is Snoop. At the time, it's like a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Deion, they young. And I'm real young. I'm rolling. I'm just,
just
getting
a great
involved.
time.
And me and Big Bob, we rolling. We pulling up, man. And so we go in, the concert's coming to an end, we go to the backstage. Y'all know how it is in the backstage. We go to the back door, right? And this is, back then, I can say this, and I guess it's history. It's good. I ain't throwing Prime under the bus, but it's nothing. But it's an interesting story of his power. Snoop and all us go to the back. So at the time, Janet Jackson, we get to the back. So Prime wanted to meet Janet, and not in any form. Fan the whole nine. Celebrity to celebrity, and get to know Suge and the whole nine. And we wanted to meet Janet too. So we walk to the backstage. All of a sudden, at the door, her boyfriend, Janet, at one point had a boyfriend. I think he was a Latino, maybe something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure to say that. He was something like that. But so he's at the door. We walk up to the door and like, hey, we want to, going to meet Janet. Prime is there. So he was like, nobody can come in here right now. She's getting dressed, whatever. Big Suge walked up to that door. hey. Suge walking up to that door, man. All I know is these not talk, whatever. Next thing I know,
y'all walking in.
No, They walked in. We couldn't get in. Me and Bob was outside. Look, Deion, Snoop, all them. There was a limit. But the point being, that's how his star power was, man.
Wow,
he was a special dude. He deserves all the things he gets because he is unique and genuine to being himself.
All right, I want to get into the Atlanta music scene, but I want to ask you a couple more
Sure.
Falcon questions, and I'm pretty sure Trey. I want to ask you about this. It was Jerry Glanville was your coach.
First coach, he
and
drafted
then,
me.
And then after Jerry Glanville came June Jones, and then Dan Reeves.
Then Dan.
Okay, so compared to Glanville, June, and Dan, how did Dan Reeves change the culture? I mean, I like when Glanville came in, but it kind of got out of his hand a little bit, so he lost. In June, I didn't understand June, but tell us the difference between like how Dan Reeves changed the Falcons culture and compared to Jerry Glanville and June Jones.
Okay. A comparison I'm going to make, and we can relate again. The best comparison I can make, Jerry Glanville was Freak Nick. All right? Dan Reeves was a picnic. Where you sit down.
Wow.
Man. Jerry, it was turned up. It was wild. People, doing what they wanted to do, showing up. It was a culture of there is no one like that really leading the team. A lot of side things going on. He was, a distraction. Now, Dan Reeves was the picnic. We come, you know where you're going to be sitting. You know what you're supposed to do. It's under control. And that was the difference. It was Freaknik versus Picnic. And Dan Reeves was a person that just was professional. It was clean. It was crisp. Now, Jerry, the physical part now and the wildness and a lot of things I learned, he was wild. Now, he used to send tickets to Elvis. Jerry used to have rock groups on the plane with us too. So, but Dan Reeves brought in a level of professionalism and discipline and a vision for what we can be. Because a lot of the guys that was on June, it was Jerry, then June, but a lot of people that were on those teams, they were the team that made up the 98 team. So a lot of us believe, and me and Jesse Tuggle talk about it, if we would have had Dan Reeves earlier, we would have been a contender earlier than that. We would have been a contender. We would get free agents, we get players. We had a great advantage in the Georgia Dome, but the way it was structured, Dan Reeves brought a level of professionalism, physicalness, and accountability. I hope I answered your question.
Yes.
Yeah, like so we'll come back to some more Falcon stuff because I 100% have a few more questions. But a lot of people who may have been under a rock, what I mean, they may limit what you have been to the city to strictly the Falcons. But as we talked outside of the show, you've done a lot for the city of Atlanta, and you spoke about how what gets lost in the conversation of the things that help lift Atlanta to being the well-known city that it is now, and the city that gets the respect that it is. What gets lost in that story is the role the athletes played in that. Like, let's speak on that. What these athletes were doing in the city of Atlanta that helped Atlanta at its bubbling point, right around that Freaknik time and that Olympic time that helped blow Atlanta all the way up from Bob Whitfield to Patchwork to any and everything, man. Let's talk about it, Chuck.
Let's talk about it from my first perspective. Let's talk about it because recently we've been seeing movies shouted there by the Magic City, the culture, the whole phenomenon of the Magic City Monday thing that went down this year, the Freaknik, show,
documentary,
the documentary, things like that. But to me, when you look at the history of Atlanta and the culture of the music and the arts and the development of the party part of it, how Atlanta set trends, and when I say party, because we didn't even talk about this, two of the legendary party planners who are still around doing it, Abe and AG, that's a whole nother culture within itself. I ain't seen it, and I'm just throwing it out there from that standpoint. Whereas I'm getting to, when you see that, the biggest disappointment from what I see in those shows in the history is the athletes. The athletes that were here, that were putting in, and we just talked about prime.
With the money.
Exactly, because think about it. When I signed in 92, Bob signed in 92, when they said we signed for $5 million, we had $5 million in cash or millions of dollars. And so what that meant, it opened up avenues that a lot of the entertainers couldn't do because theirs was, you know how the music business is. It's built into if you do this many, you do that. But it was different for athletes. So the athletes, man, get lost. When you talk about anything to do with the culture of hip hop, one of the things in 1992, you gotta talk about Bob Whitfield. Period.
And Bob Whitfield is a staple in Atlanta. I think he's underrated when it comes to hip hop in Atlanta because he had one of the biggest studios ever, and it's still around.
Still talk about that. Talk about Bob's contribution.
Yeah. And see, Bob's contribution in 1992, when Bob came here, there were limited studios where people could work out of. And I always remember this story, and somebody out there remember this. Y'all might remember. I remember Bobby Brown had Bosstown, right?
Which is Stankonia right now.
Stankonia right now. All I remember is somebody, I don't know who it is, got thrown out, kicked him out of there because he needed time the whole 9. So then, I forgot who that was, they started coming to Patchworks. But when Bob brought Patchworks in, one of the first things he did that separated him, that gave Atlanta an opportunity from these entertainers, these rappers and producers, Bob had millions of dollars. He went out and got a J9000. Period.
What's a J9000?
You ahead and say it? That's a jet. No, I'm talking about it's a board.
Oh, the board.
I'm talking about the board, the J9000 board. Nobody had that. They didn't have that. I remember carrying it in the Patchworks, right? Going in there. So he was able to create a studio because he had his own money.
Yeah.
He had cash. So at that time too, so a lot of the rappers, man, they was coming through Patchworks. Bob used to get 130 tickets a game for the Falcons and gave them to all the rap cats.
Wow.
They looking right now, they know. But it was a good thing. That's how we were all connected. So his placement at that time, he doing all kind of stuff. So from the standpoint of that, in those movies, they talk about some of the things that they do talk about. And I respect the guys who are on some of these shows, but they're speaking from one side. The athletes, they're guys. Deion Sanders, he had a hair salon on Peachtree Street back in the day. He had a club, I think, on Peachtree. Dominique, that's not in there. You look at things that people were building, how they were contributing, doing charity work. So from that standpoint, I think the athletes, again, and the athletes that were, some of them that were on these shows, man, they weren't in the ATL like that, man. We was doing it. And B. Rich, you guys remember back in 92, when Bob started Patchworks, so I was going to get in the promotion business. Me and my partner, Dedrick. You know what I'm saying? Look, he's like, yeah, Dedrick. Man, we doing parties at the House of Blues. We doing, because I had real money at the time. You feel what I'm saying? So we doing parties with Wu-Tang, Too Short. This goes on for years. Be able to do big events. You know what I'm saying? Look, except doing, was it the Fresh Fest or whatever? What's this dude's name? Al, used to the biggest promoter one time. What's his name?
Can't remember right off.
Yeah, what is his name? I forgot. But doing all that, man, we doing big things. You know what I'm saying? So and part of that is, to me, the athletes get lost in all those stories, and it's not just about booty shaking, making it rain. Because if I'm gonna tell you who said make it rain, I hear what people saying who said make it rain. But the person who said make it rain was Dale Carter.
Okay.
From the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, cornerback.
Yeah. Wilding out. This in 93. He throwing money everywhere. Dale Carter.
Y'all some wild boys.
Yeah, I hear it on TV, and I'm living it. I'm seeing it. You know what I'm saying? We putting it down, man. Everybody's here doing charity work, doing cool stuff. And then when you look at it, that's how the fusion, they don't talk enough about the fusion of the athletes and the entertainers together doing bricks, putting stuff in the street. You know what I'm saying? Not bricks, but I mean putting money out there.
Yeah, like building blocks.
Building blocks.
That's what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. He's talking about building blocks, all right?
Hey, look, so nothing about me. I ain't no hustler. I ain't no gangster.
Yeah.
I ain't going to even act like that's not what I'm. Nah. So to me, in all these stories, the football players, the athletes, man, Marty Carter, I don't even know where Marty is.
I remember that name.
Marty Carter was the king of the cars, Freaknik everywhere. He was the boss of bosses because everybody was all about riding them cars. They know These cats, the OG ATL, man, Marty Carr from LaGrange, Georgia. Tony Stargell. These cats, man.
Tony Stargell played for Tech, right? Or keep
Did he
going.
go
Keep
to-
going.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and then again, that's not sexy to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's easy to throw out some of the guys that all of a sudden get on the film like, that dude went in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He might have knew about some of that. So I just think the athletes, when the evolution of Atlanta get told, I was
forget
there.
about because you
was
said
there.
something about Montrez. It just wasn't Magic City.
Oh
Or
yeah,
Blue Flame.
Montrez, Foxy Lake, you know all them different clubs, you
Not
know
the
different things
Foxy
like that.
Lady, boy, I ain't
Yeah,
heard that
man.
name in a
You
minute.
know what I'm saying? All those different places like that.
I mean, it was like
It was
like
crazy.
you made a run. Like it wasn't just Magic City. It was Strokers. It was Magic
Strokers.
City. It was
Yep.
Montrez. It was Blue Flame.
Gentlemen's Club,
Yeah.
the GC, the Gold Club,
Jazzy
yeah.
Tees.
Jazzy T,
Yeah.
Jazzy.
So it's like Atlanta was just like it was
Jazzy
just
T's was next to the gate, or the gate was next to Jazzy T.
yeah. Because the gate was bigger.
and again, we had at the time, again, not compared to what these guys got now, but at the time, we young athletes, we had real money. We had real cash. You know, it wasn't no, you're going to get it down the line, or you got to get a record deal, or nothing like that, or you got to be a movie star, and that, things like that. But it was all those different places. The athletes were huge in it. Major League Baseball players, NFL players. I ain't seen not in one video nobody talk about Evander Holyfield. Man, me and Evander, we used to be up in Evander had money.
Wow.
Evander Holyfield, man, boss.
You was rubbing elbows with some of the biggest.
But I'm just saying, Evander Holyfield, when you think about this city and the culture,
You was shaping
gotta
Atlanta,
talk
yeah.
about it.
Nah.
And nothing against Magic City. I love Magic City. I respect Mr. Magic and the whole nine.
Yeah, of course.
And I respect that whole Magic City Monday. But what a disservice to a city to say the culture was just made by one strip club.
That's a
To
lot of
me,
stuff.
that is
Blue
absolutely
Flame.
that.
Shouts out to Mike.
Yeah, no, and I'm just saying, even Blue Flame, all of them, Jazzy Tees, Foxy Lady, the whole nine. But what I'm saying is, there is no one event that has made this culture. To
Yeah.
me, when you just say that, you taking away from what is Attic Crew, Dungeon Family, So Def, Lil Jon, Merritt Campbell. You know, yeah. You take seriously, man.
out
You
to Big
taking
Oom.
away Frank Ski's impact, Ryan Cameron.
Ryan
That's
Cameron.
the culture is built on a lot of people. The culture is not built on Magic City Monday. If you want to know the truth, that is one story in a huge culture building.
It's a lot of stories.
event, man.
It's a lot of stories
And
you
that's-
could do like Magic
yeah.
City, man, for real.
Yeah, a lot of them. But I'm just saying, just the evolution of, you know, how the city got there. Because if I'm Jermaine Dupri, for you to say Magic City is the epicenter of culture for music, come on, man. Man, JD, how do you say that when a guy like that history touches so much? Okay, the culture was set. Everybody around the country now think, what, Magic City? Magic City is absolutely an incredible establishment, great story. I've been in there, everybody understood that, but the cultural start of the city, the LaFaces, the people that you see like that I just talked about help the culture. And these are just, it's a lot of promoters. Remember, I had a few hits to my head, so I can't remember everybody.
Yeah.
Like when you think about the culture, Alex Gitwan, I got to put him in there.
AG.
Yeah, oh, AG.
Parties.
Man,
How you
he's-
think the bottle service? AG was doing man. I didn't drop 30 bands in there. The bottles messing with Abe. Them dudes, my Ethiopian brothers. That's what I used to tease them about. I think they're Ethiopians, but I respect it. I'm saying your contributions.
Everybody.
So, and
contribute.
this is not a shot at that, but I just think the people who did those videos saw it through one lens. I seen it through athletes. I seen it through the culture because I was all running around being a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So the culture was set in this city by a lot of different avenues, and I like I like the sweatshirts. I like the whole nine. How it just puts light on one entity. But there's so many storylines that are the culture
That need to be told.
and that's a part. Magic City's a part of the culture, but the way the athletes got completely left out, right? Evander's got completely left. Dominique's got completely left out. You know what I'm saying? So back in the day, that's just to me, the athletes. When history is written, I'm glad one of the few people that was in the mix that I'm here and can at least explain a little bit who some of the power players were that did help shape the city.
Help shape the culture, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why the hell the Falcons ain't never hired you, man?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked me that, and I can speak on it now. I'm speaking as Chuck Smith. I'm not Coach Chuck right now. I'm still in the business, but I'm not, because these last couple of years, you might, if you ever heard me on like with Carl and them, I got to be buttoned up, But I'll tell you this, man. I think it really has to do with relationships a little bit. And when this conversation, you gotta remember, when this conversation about pass rush helping them first started, it started before Abe. This started like 2008, 2009, when I was like the only pass rush trainer out there. People would always say, hey, can you come help? Will you help them? And then, they had good rushers and things like that. But I think it's about ultimately relationships, and I think it's also about the things that I did in the city. There were so many things that I did that it came into conflict early on with what they were doing. Because remember, in 2001, Steak Shapiro gave me my first job. I'm at 790 Zone. I'm on the show with Matt Chernoff. We rolling, one of the top shows. Yeah. So no, we was back. We was the monsters of the midday.
That's right, the monsters of the midday.
Shout out to
was
Matt.
the other guy, right?
Yeah. But so at that time, what did I have to do? This is now 01 to 03. I had to be critical and give Falcons fans, the insight on.
Give them the real.
Mm-hmm. So, and at that time, Jamie Dukes was right before me. I was one of the first Falcons, maybe number 2. No, Jeff Van Note was doing it. I'm not sure if Arch was in it yet, Dave Archer. But I was one of the first guys on radio that was a former Falcon of note.
Yes.
Voice. So, and the bad part for me as it relates, because I'm going to bring it back to the pass rush, as it relates to me, is that Arthur Blank was a new owner. And the Mike Vick era came when I was on the radio. And it was not good for anybody that was going to tell their truth and speak on the Falcons, because it was some incredible stories in the beginning. It was incredible. We were rolling. It was Freaknik at every game, the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Nothing like when Mike Vick played at that Dome. But I had to go in there and be fair and honest about what I saw. So Arthur and Rich McKay, think about it. This is different. If I'm saying something about it, I was forced almost to basically say what was going on, and I don't think the organization took that lightly, right? So as time moves on, I'm still on the radio. I've been doing radio and TV for, forever, so I would be in different avenues when I was always doing that at the same time. So it was somewhat of to me, a conflict of interest. From that standpoint, then I transitioned, I leave the media. I kind of got a little bit, I won't say burnt out, just got tired of it. I wanted to be a dad. I had this pass rush business dream of building something there. So I kind of stepped away, but I would always be doing, I had to play to win. I'd be doing all these shows and stuff. So when I start training, then my brand gets big. So every year, people on the radio, man, y'all need to hire Chuck. Falcons struggle. Y'all need to hire Chuck. Okay, 2014. Y'all need to hire Chuck. Eventually, it wore me down. But from their standpoint, imagine hearing this every day. Mm-hmm. And then you're struggling for 15 years. Then you got the aforementioned expert in all things pass rush, the person who invented the pass rush training business in your city. And remember, I'm rocking with y'all. I'm rocking with you. I'm rocking with all the TV stations. I'm rocking with all these entertainers. So now, you got Killer Mike, a Falcon fan, shouting out, man, he beat you up. That's my dog. Man, Killer Kill used to do charity events. Hometown Love Tour, we're going all around Southwest LA. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just saying that because all this comes into Falcon fans to truly understanding why. And also in defense of them. You know what I mean? Because it became overwhelming. Everything about, I can't imagine how I would feel as the position coach at the Ravens, and every time the PR and the fans hear, well, we need to hire Terrell Suggs, pass rush coach. We need to hire him. So all these years, Dukes and Bell, something pass rush come up, Chuck Smith, Joe, what we gonna do? Mike, Carl, home team, all just my people. But they are real football fans. They know I could have helped them, right? So it goes on to fans, and it takes a life of its own. And in all those years, I'm training Aaron Donald, I'm training Von Miller, I'm training these legends. I'm developing these guys. I'm developing even guys on their team. I'm training Grady. You know what I mean? So I think from that standpoint, all those things, man, made it hard on them. And then coaches got to want to feel comfortable, with you. So I think, at that point, I got comfortable enough to somewhat be a consultant with them. Like I used to talk to Mike Smith. Mike was super cool. And I'll say this, Dan Quinn is a solid dude. And I will say this, I've met with Q, I've talked to Q, I've consulted, over the years. I would talk to Falcons, things like that. Yeah. Just help them because we talked about relationships. Q trusted me. But then there were times, like I said, I think the early stuff, ultimately, from the big picture of the Atlanta Falcons, it was kind of somewhat overwhelming in me defending them to try to hire me, because then now you get there, it's a whole different avenue from what they see. And I don't think the Falcons at that time really got to know the difference between 1999 Chuck and 2001 radio Chuck, a guy who's converted, who I had already coached with the New York Jets. I had been the head D-line coach at Tennessee. So the reason why I didn't get it, because it was about relationships, and I don't think ultimately they felt truly comfortable from that standpoint, not Dan, but other people. Yeah. In the
other
mix.
people in the
and I actually interviewed for the job one time. And ended up hiring Jess Simpson back years ago, cat that was at Buford, really fantastic coach. But I think that had a lot to do with it, in my opinion. And that's how the Ravens thing, I had a better relationship. John believed in me and knew what my heart was about, because I'm a different guy now than I was when I'm talking about the 90s and all those things.
Of course, we all are.
So that to really answer your question, Trey, I think it had to do with they were bringing in different people. Like I rock with Ra. I see Ra, at the combine, stuff like that. And we talking about pass rushers. And over the years, like a lot of Falcons, guys, I seen Brick 2 years ago. I rock with Brick, all them dudes. So we all were in the same space. And now people kind of, get to know me. And even what we're doing now, most people don't know me from who I am now, because, again, different ways I've had to be portrayed. Media guy, football guy, charity guy, GPB TV sports high school guy, color analyst with the Falcons guy. You know what I mean? So I'm V103 Frank Ski guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that distorts it all a little bit, because you get so much and they see so much of you, and people, from I think the Falcons, that was one of their great challenges. And I've
trying to figure that out.
Yeah, and I totally. And even like this year, man, when they did great, there is no one that wanted them guys to be great more than me when it came to pass rush.
Oh man, we know you always
nobody, man, nobody. And I was like, I was really proud, and I was like, dang, about time they broke the damn record. Yeah, it was cool.
I want to ask you a question. High school.
Yes.
What in the world made you pick the Tennessee Volunteers over the Georgia Bulldogs, and you are a hometown hero in Athens? Please explain that.
Clark Central High School, stand up. Back in the day, Georgia was a great,
You said 1980, man.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan when they're not playing Tennessee. I pull for the Dogs every week. And one of the simple reasons is this. Number one, it's not because I was a childhood fan, but because the kids that I train and I have developed, and the kids that I've been around, they from Georgia. They from Westlake. They from Buford. They from Athens. They from Jackson County. They from Savannah. So it's in my best interest, because I want our state schools to have success. And where do a lot of them go? Georgia. So I pull for the Dogs. I want them to win, because those people are family. Like this year, Christian Miller. That's my guy. I train Christian. Trey Scott, the D-line coach. I love Trey. He's a friend. Hell, me and Kirby had the same agent, Jimmy Sexton, forever. I've been knowing Kirby forever. One of my best friends on the planet is Richard Seymour. We tailgate with Big C. I mean, he still beat me in golf. I mean, not in golf. He just started whooping me in bowling. But the point being, it's Georgia. You know what I mean? It's connected. Gant, the guy who's their director of player relations at Georgia, Gant. I'm from Athens.
So why you didn't go to UGA?
I'm just saying how I support. And the reason I go to UGA, coming into the 90s, Tennessee was a barn burner, dog. Hey, we was coming to an era of the 90s where us and Florida dominated. Georgia wasn't in the championship business back then. Period. Tennessee was wide open, 4 or 5 wides. On defense, they said you can be a pass rusher. We want to develop you as a pass rusher. Georgia at the time, Vince Dooley recruited me. Bill Goldberg was the star. He was a nose guard. You know, Bill,
that's the wrestler, right?
Yeah, Bill. Bill, you know, good friend of mine too, Bill. Hated he had to lose. He lost the championship, man, and took the title from Bill, but he's doing good. So Bill was the nose guard. So Georgia told me that they were going to bring me in and play me like as a nose guard. You like get bigger. I was like, and Tennessee was like, we want you to be the next great pass rusher. I just loved Knoxville. It didn't have as much to do with Georgia's, you know, what they were coming into. And so, I mean, because you got to remember, when I met Tennessee, I hosted Garrison Hurst. I was his host. Garrison, we're going to tell him what happened on the strip, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah, Garrison.
Please don't.
It wasn't Garrison. It was Garrison. Look, I was Garrison's host. He had to help me. Garrison had to drag me back to the dorm. That's another story. I ain't going to talk about that, dude. But that's the reason why I really just love Tennessee. I love Knoxville. My mind frame, too, being from Athens, I want to be in a bigger market. Like Knoxville had their own radio station. Knoxville had their own TV station. Yeah. You know, WIXA 11 Knoxville. Athens was really a community built outside of Atlanta. So Tennessee, we had all these dudes. We went back-to-back SEC champs. You know, I got a chance to do some really good things. Tennessee looked out for me when I went to junior college. I'm a JUCO product. So it really had a lot more to do with what Tennessee was doing. But it did, you know, a little bit to do with, at the time, they projected me to go inside and stuff like that. And but I've always, I worked at the stadium. I work at Sanford Stadium. I sold peanuts and popcorn at the stadium. I sold peanuts and popcorn at the Coliseum.
Man, you got to explain nobody. So just say, man, I want to play for Tennessee.
But I'm just saying.
It is what it is. I know B-Rich. Look, I'm a Dogs fan, too.
Yeah,
I know B-Rich sad, but just say, man, I felt like I had a better chance at winning the ring.
Play for the Falcons.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Look. So listen.
Hey man, what's that? She says I'm so ATL. I'm so Georgia, man.
Hey man, I'm so GA. I know that they don't have the nice ring to it. But look, we been having a couple debates on this show, and I think you're a good person to chime in on both of these. Oh, Lord. All right, and they both have to do with Michael Vick. Michael Vick is involved in both of these debates. Okay, so the first one, I think I know what your answers were going to be to the first one I was going to ask, so I'm going to save that one because I think I already know what your answer is going to be today. Yeah. So we have a debate where we discuss who would you take in their prime Michael Vick or prime Lamar Jackson? You just came from Baltimore. Wow. You saw it. You saw it up close. You saw it. You saw it up close and personal. You saw it up close and personal. You saw it up close and personal. So prime Mike Vick or prime Lamar Jackson?
Michael Vick, incredible competitor. Speed, as fast as quarterback there's ever been. Playing in front of the perfect crowd that fit him. He could throw the ball, limited by the offensive scheme. Was a run-first scheme. Just dynamic. Lamar Jackson can run, dynamic, great talent, can do everything that you need. And I'll just say to me, and I'll tell you in the end what I really feel. I think the first thing when you make this comparison, the hard part is everything the Ravens have done in the last 4 years is built for Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
In the big picture, not everything he's going to get.
No, we get it.
Not everything.
Yeah.
Because he is a dynamic. He can pass. He can read defenses. That's the one thing that I think that Michael Vick didn't get. You know, he was looked at as more almost like a gadget a little bit. I mean, he either drop back, 2 receivers out, either throw it or go. Because Michael Vick could throw the ball. But I just think the scheme back when he played, obviously, if he played now, he'd have 5 wides out. You'd have designated quarterback runs, Y-off chippers to help him in protection. But I think I think Lamar Jackson is a better overall player. And I think that Mike Vick is handicapped because of the way the design was for him. You got to remember, you got T.J. Duckett, Warwick Dunn. You know what I'm saying? He had incredible tight end Algie Crumpler. But I think Lamar Jackson, from what I've seen, this is different, man. I'm just telling you.
Man,
This
get
is
out of
different,
here,
man.
man. Vic better than Lamar Jackson, man.
It's not, and honestly, it's not even a comparison, dog. It's really not a comparison. Mike is fantastic. Lamar Jackson is Mike Vick on steroids. Lamar Jackson is Mike Vick with afterburners. His ability to win games and big plays by himself.
You know what, man?
Offense.
You know what? It's unfair because Vic was the first. He was the first. If you put Vic, like Trey said, both of them, you put them right here in the same systems, Michael Vick will outperform Lamar Jackson, in my opinion.
I don't think from a passing standpoint, I know he didn't never really truly get to it, but when Lamar Jackson did what Mike Vick did, he still won MVP. I mean, he ran the ball. He's run the ball for 1,000 yards. He's the all-time leading, I think, runner by quarterback, but I think from yards. I think when I was there, he was like 50. This is just, I don't know the exact number, but this is the kind of magnitude he was. Mike was like 50-4 against the NFC. He's a 2-time MVP. He can run. He can throw. He does things that no one can do, and it's the truth, man. And I love Mike Vick. I'm not saying this because I was with Lamar. And here's the other part of it. Lamar Jackson, he take care of his business. He a leader. He ain't hey, man, let's turn up, let's go. But Mike Vick is, and not saying Mike's history, some of the things that he challenged
came out,
for him.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the book of if you look at a quarterback, being a leader and your preparation at the end of the day has something to do with it.
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
He run the ball, he throw the ball, and when you watch him, like that last game I coached, when you watch him against Pittsburgh, he made plays, things. It's not they're broken plays.
It was crazy.
He did it. He did it with Derrick Henry. He did it without Derrick Henry. He did it in the running offense. He's done it in the passing offense. He's should be 3-time MVP. And here's a statement I'll say about Lamar Jackson. And he's better than people even realize. He is on another level. He is. I'm gonna tell you what could happen for these guys. Sometimes transition's good, and I got caught up in it. Right, I lost my job with John Harbaugh. But
John Harbaugh and you guys, you saw he came back and got one of the highest contracts ever. So
yeah, he's a great
I don't
coach.
think that John Harbaugh should have gotten fired from the Ravens. I mean, you see, it didn't take him, but he was one of the most sought after coaches.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's a great coach, and he's where he.
So
needs
why
to
do you
be.
think what happened?
Hold on 1 second. Go.
Yeah.
You were speaking on transition.
Yeah, I was just saying hold up, B. Rich made me lose my train of thought. Hold up.
Leave him alone. Dude.
No.
You were saying sometimes you can get caught up in you say you got caught up in transition, but sometimes transition can be good.
Transition's good, and when we think back to the great NBA teams, think about the Lakers had to overcome the Celtics and things like that. Think about the Pistons. Michael Jordan had to overcome the Pistons. Think about some of these teams we've seen. OKC, they kept building. They're the best team. Or they're not, got the best record. Think about some of those things like the Chiefs. When they came, they had to overcome. Think about the Eagles for years getting there. That's where Lamar Jackson's greatness is about to shine. Because transition, to me, is going to be good. And like I said, even though I was a part of it, John was a part of it, and this isn't really a story about them. It's about having that new direction and the people they got. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to show that he's even better than people think. And even like when teams didn't want to get Lamar, I've watched. This is a different kind of dude. This is a different kind of great guy. No drama. He accepts blame when he shouldn't. Y'all have seen this dude. Every loss he has, he takes blame when he only need to, and he know he ain't the problem. We know he ain't the problem. And I just think just watching him, just the leadership, and the last thing I'll say about him, we talked about prime. There's only one person that I have seen. Mike Vick had it too when his celebrityism. Lamar Jackson's off the Richter scale. When we go to stadiums, it's crazy. But here's the thing about it. People of color support Lamar Jackson no matter what team when they're not playing him. Because it's the storyline. Lamar Jackson, to me, is the first true, real, authentic guy who's living his truth because he's black. He got dreads, wears things, sometimes it'd be nappy and wild. He might have the side braided up. He wear gold teeth. He talks like a Southerner. So that's why you see so many people in the media that discount him and beat him up when he's clearly not the problem. And he's a winner, but they beat him up. But what has to happen, he's the guy that you see on TV sitting in the green room. And so everybody wants the perfect quarterback. Lamar Jackson is a real brother, man. He's authentically himself. It don't matter. And a lot of people, they want to see the guy in the commercial, hey, So Lamar Jackson, what I see, man, brothers, but it's just like with Mike Vick. People around the league love Mike Vick and want to have successful. And I'm not saying it's really a culture thing, but there is part of it because of what these people see, the negativity, how he is evaluated, how he's looked at. So I think from that standpoint, and Lamar is a great dude. Lamar Jackson, the kind of dude you want your daughter to date. Not saying she's going to date him. Not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you, when I describe Lamar Jackson, that's the kind of dude he is, man. He is like, I can't say enough about him, man.
And you know what,
he's a great dude, man.
Like in these conversations, if your guy doesn't get picked, people get sad. But it's really no knock on Vic in this conversation because Vic, being the dynamic player he was, it opened up the door for the league to want a Lamar Jackson or somebody like that. You know what I mean? So Lamar is like a Vic 2.0, and there's nothing wrong with the next generation taking it a little step further because part of why they were so sought after is because of what a Mike Vick did on the field. And then there were quarterbacks before Mike Vick who did it, the reason they were excited to have a Mike Vick on the field.
And I agree with you. And the Mike Vick experience is the closest thing. Lamar is the closest thing. They're the same kind of player. Mike just never got a chance to develop by the things that happen. He ends up dogfighting. Now he goes away for that. So
and then you said the system.
The system, the offensive scheme wasn't exactly built for him to, take off and,
You kind of saw where it was going with the Eagles. With Ray, like, wow, what it could have been.
Okay, so look, I had one more that was involving Mike Vick, and it's always a good, little fun debate. So, whose time here in Atlanta did more for the culture or had the city more lit, you would say? The Michael Vick experience or primetime Deion Sanders?
Woo. Michael Vick.
Now, I am shocked.
Michael Vick.
Over Deion?
When Michael Vick came out, when the Falcons...
He gonna cry in the car.
I remember when... Hey, listen, Mike Vick, and again, the same things that people love about, I talk about Lamar, they love about Mike Vick. He was authentically himself. Man, Mike Vick used to come with Tim's on, open, shorts on, with another player's jersey on, with a do-rag. Think about with jewelry. People weren't rolling like that. So I'm just saying, the culture, people, when people hear the experience, think of Mike Vick, because this is a black city. Or this is a city, again.
But it was already established.
Let me finish, B. All I'm saying is he looked like Atlanta. He walked like Atlanta. We talking about this culture. Mike's a part of that too. He carried himself like Atlanta. It was a hip-hop, whole different kind of thing. So the experience and difference between him and with Deion, this is 90. Deion left here in 94. The NFL brand it was big, but it wasn't big like it is when Mike Vick got there. You know what I'm saying? I think, and looking at how Atlanta had grown, so when Deion was here, Atlanta wasn't a city full of stars.
He sparked it. Like
Like
Deion created some things that as a kid and as a fan of rap music growing up and hip hop, he brought that to light. And you just said that. You just sat there and said during them times, such and such and such and such. And now you go to Vic over Deion when Deion was the forefather of this? Man, come on, man.
Nah, see, if you want to compare from the time Prime was here, if you want to really compare somebody, I need B. Rich arguing with Dominique Wilkins. You need to be talking about Neek and Prime.
Yeah.
Mike Vick is a different kind of animal.
I mean,
Mike Vick
I
a
get
different
what
kind
you're
of
saying
animal.
with Neek, but Neek was into women. Neek wasn't into to hip hop.
No.
Neek had
How you gonna throw Neek out there?
No,
like
Neek
that?
was a ladies' man. Neek had the ladies.
Neek
I'm
had
just
the
saying.
ladies. Prime could have had the ladies.
Neek wasn't.
Nah.
Neek
look,
wasn't as
like
hip hop
that. Hey, look.
as.
Neek had a club.
Neek wasn't as hip hop as Deion.
Check this out.
I just said Neek was.
Dominique is somewhere closing down his YouTube app or IG app with his
Hey,
wife
man,
sitting at the table.
listen.
Even though he wasn't married to her then, he's somewhere like, oh, yeah, we're going to log off
Look, Neek is the first big major, in my opinion,
he is the
with
first.
the culture. Neek
That's
is the
true.
first one that made folks proud from the standpoint
Yes.
of being African American. Because let me tell you why. We got to watch him grow up at UGA. He went from UGA all them years, the years he was there, to Atlanta. Neek brought a swag, a uniqueness to him. He was G'd up. Neek, listen, because the point being, Nick was rocking too. Whatever in that era they was doing the hip hop, Nick wasn't. But the thing is, the game hip hop hadn't got to the point where the NFL had accepted it like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The NBA had really accepted it like that. So Nick, but from my standpoint, that's the comparison that should be made. Mike Vick came when the NFL was in a renaissance, a boom.
Yeah.
It had, and so TV, commercials. Deion took it to another level. Deion brought a different kind of hip hop culture to Atlanta. He, Uncle Luke, he brought MC Hammer, guys that were there. But Mike Vick came right after in that early 2000s when Atlanta had already, we Atlanta.
Yeah.
We the
That's
city
what I'm saying.
we the city of culture, hip hop. Not just that. Actors, entertainers.
Everybody.
And so Mike Vick was a star amongst stars of the other stars. When Mike Vick was here, there was nobody bigger than him. Well, I mean, I don't know who else was here. You know what I'm saying? From the standpoint,
I get what
Mike
you're saying.
Vick
When Vic was here, Vic was the man. Like, he 100% was the man.
And Mike Vick is the reason what I see, because at the time I was all around this. Now I'm the color analyst working on it, you know what I'm saying, with the Falcons, so I'm around it all the time still, just like you guys were. Mike Vick was a star of stars. People wanted to touch Mike, and what made Mike real, like I just said, man, Mike looked like Atlanta. He, rocked like Atlanta. So where Deion set the bar high, no question, Deion is the original hip hop dude, swag but he didn't get to me a national type deal. Because think about it, when Deion was out, West Coast rappers knew him, MC Hammer, Mike Vick in the Jay-Z era. These folks Mike Vick in the era with a Jermaine Dupri that's as big in the game, a B. Rich that's out here doing his thing. I'm talking about all the rap guys and all the entertainers, all the politicians from that standpoint. If the Deion Sanders that we seen would have been in 01 like Mike Vick, it'd be there's nothing like him. And that's the thing that separates them.
Thing about Deion
So-
put into that generation.
Oh yeah,
That
and you
would've been crazy.
put Deion in now. Come on, man, he's entertaining. But again, it's a great debate. But Mike Vick experience at that dome, it was electric. It was
you made him say
tailgate,
it,
and I never. That's when
You made him say it, Chuck.
Nah, that's the first time.
I
said
like Deion.
He
I
said
mean, I
it.
like Mike Vick.
I mean,
say it
but
right
it's again, it has to do with the evolution. I mean, Deion left in '94. Mike Vick catching. I mean, there wasn't even a thought of iPhones or phones
I just think that
computers.
Deion Sanders changed the culture as far as hip hop into the Braves and the Falcons. Man, he
he
kind of
did.
brought that, and
he
he came at a time where like the music scene was growing, and he was there to be with it, and you was too.
So
no, I agree. No, real quick, I agree with what you're saying, but I just think when Mike Vick came, the NFL's marketing,
I get what you're saying.
branding
I get what
was-
you're saying.
was
It's
so much
yeah.
bigger.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, if
I agree
Deion
with
came
that.
with Mike Vick, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And Deion, not just from Atlanta standpoint, Deion has a say and a claim throughout the entire sports world with hip hop. No, he did. I was at the Must Be the Money video. Actually, I'm in the Must Be the Money video. Must be the money. Hey, I'm in it. I'm in
So
it.
you in it.
When the video
You already
first
know what it was.
So Dion was like, yo, man, I'm going to get you in the video. I'm there. We got all these trailers, stuff. Dion got all the athletes' trailers. We was in the Black Hill Mountain somewhere in North California. So Dion was like, Face, jump up in here. So he had a curl wig on. He jumped up. I was sitting right, if you look at it when it comes on, I'm standing there looking like a big old Polynesian brother, boy. Everybody thinking that, they always thinking I'm Tongan. They was like, who's that Tongan? So Dion, I'm standing on there, must be the money. When it comes on, I was like, yeah, I was that dude. But Prime, Atlanta's had a big place in hip hop as far as the sport. But Mike Vick, he caught, he was a.
Vic was something else. Yeah, Vic
he was an incredible movement that I don't think Atlanta has seen in a long. It might not ever.
Yeah,
might not ever.
So look, Chuck, we've been going now for a long time. We are almost an hour and 40 minutes in, so we getting ready to wrap this thing on up. But we wouldn't feel right or feel like we have a bow put on this interview if we don't ask current 2026 Atlanta Falcons. What do the Falcons have to do, in your opinion? Give me 3 main keys to the Atlanta Falcons having a successful season in 2026?
Well, number one, first and foremost, you can't win in the NFL unless you got a quarterback. You got to have a productive quarterback that can make plays, but also can lead an offense. Got to stay healthy. But to me, number one, the Falcons have to find stability at the quarterback, period. I've lived it. I learned a lot before I was a trainer. Before I was a coach, I was a trainer, didn't see it, but I've been in them rooms. If you ain't got no quarterback that can make plays, you have no chance to win a Super Bowl over the big picture. Number 2, got to be Eugene Robinson. You got to build, you got to turn him, you got to continue to turn him loose. Things got to be built around him. You got to be able to run the ball. I think Bijan, you got to put him in that MVP category, and we already know he's phenomenal. But I'm saying Bijan has to keep being Bijan. But then you got to, obviously, the guys on the outside, the receivers and things like that, offensive line, but keep developing him and featuring him. He's phenomenal. And number 3, you got to stop the run. The guys up front, I know this year they didn't get a high pick or nothing like that inside. They, got the cornerback. Shout out to him. Pretty cool. I have 2 brothers on the corner. Never heard of that.
That's awesome.
That's super dope. But you got to be able to stop the run and keep the development, man. The Falcons have done an incredible job of accumulating talent, safeties, linebackers, still probably can improve there from that standpoint. Got 2 young edges. I love what the Falcons are doing, continue to develop on the outside. And that's what it is. It's such a wide open game now. This year, wide receivers end up being the most drafted position in the league, which is phenomenal. It's just showing, and now looking at they actually passed up defensive line this year for like the highest paid, position, which is amazing. So you got to be able to spread it out. You got to be able to be creative from that standpoint. But I really think the Atlanta Falcons are in great position to do some things, and who would ever thought Seattle would do it? And I want to finish with this. I really want to give a shout out, man, to you guys, to what you guys are doing for the culture. I want to give a shout out to all the cats, man, that are doing podcasts, doing TV. And I talked about culture and just a little bit. I love the way people are shaping it. What I call them is, how you got childhood friends? I call, like, you guys my adult friends. We all grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Me and you was talking about the Attic Crew. Me and you, I used to beat you down in Madden. We got to argue.
Boy, stop.
Like friends.
I was your Madden coach.
We be on them sticks. Looking at, our mayors that we've had, looking at the evolution of not just the urban hip hop part of it. Looking at, the people that are running the city, looking at the evolution of the Falcon fans, because I got a totally different perspective from being away from when I was out of Atlanta, and how great Atlanta really is, and my, not childhood friends, my adult friends is what I'm saying.
I like that.
We put it all together, and guys are still growing. Look at, and I've mentioned some of the guys a lot, and like I talked about Ryan Cameron, DJ Shockley. DJ Shockley on TV every day. I walked up like, what? I mean, he was a young kid. You know what I mean? Just look at his evolution. Yeah. I'm coming in the airport. I hear somebody say, now you get off in gate 10.
Ryan Cameron.
Ryan Cameron.
Yep, Ryan Cameron.
You know, watching you guys, watching the, you know, some of my friends, like my boy Zay, you know what I'm saying, Zay Gilliam. I remember Zay, ooh, Lord, you know, now look at this, just we've all grown up, my friends, and just looking at some of the, not just the entertainers, people from my hometown, just watching Atlanta from the outside, it makes you really proud, looking at the development, look at so many groups of guys. Tyler Perry, I remember Tyler Perry, when I was on Frank Ski's show, I remember he was like trying to come up. You know what I mean? Just trying to do things. I look at, you know, like, can I mention 92.9 here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's
I'm looking at the ratings. I'm starting one time. I'm just in Baltimore. I'm just looking at all this stuff. They number one? What, in the city? Dude, them dudes are a power. People don't even realize. Yeah, you got arguably the other station. You got the most phenomenal radio guys in the country. It's not.
I agree.
It ain't close. And I'm talking about from both stations, home team, all these guys.
Yeah, shout out to home
Ben
team,
and Matt,
locker room.
You know what I'm saying? Randy and all those guys.
Yeah,
and
Randy, Andy Bump, State.
So as I look at the landscape of the things that are developed, all these guys and these ladies, I'm just really proud to see the group from the 90s has really put Atlanta in a great position. And my son calls me an unk. He don't like to talk about it all the time, but he do give me hell with the comparisons. Yeah. But when it comes to the brand we're talking about, from the Magic Cities to the, you know, the Excelsior Mills, to all these different strip clubs, the restaurants, and the T.I. Man, you know how awesome it is for me, for my son, to finally see T.I. doing his thing. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I like seeing Luda.
Yeah.
Chris Lover. That, you know what I mean? Just, I can go down the list of people of just in this community, you know. And, dude, you know how proud I am when I see Killer Mike? Unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? So not just rap, not just, I've talked about government, I've talked about the Falcons, their evolution, the respect I have for, you know, Arthur Blank, or, you know, I understand, hey, people gonna always pick on the owner when you ain't winning consistently. But I can just tell you this, the dude cares. I didn't see it like that before, you know, so I just want to shout out all the cats, man, that watch this show.
Thank you, bro.
The urban stuff, from high school, from football to entertainment, to all the different things, the parents that rock with me, rock with y'all. And, you know, we just getting going, man. So I just appreciate y'all giving me this platform.
Nah, we appreciate you, Chuck. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for that, man. You know, when you're on this journey, man, you need to hear those type of things to let you know that you're on the right path, man. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate you sitting down with us, man. Thank you so much. This been a dream interview for us. I know you and B Rich, y'all been partners. Of course, I've met you before. Y'all been close and been cool for years. But still, even though y'all relationship, and I just had to let you know this, you know, I think I can speak for B on this. Even though y'all relationship is what it is, it's an honor for him to have you sit next to him and talk about, you know, your career, your journey, and the team that we love, the Atlanta Falcons, on our platform. So thank you for that, Chuck.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all having me, man.
It's all good. Look, like we always say, the Waterboyz Show, we represent Atlanta because Atlanta represents us. On behalf of myself, Trey, we got the great Chuck Smith in the building. We got my partner, my brother, B Rich.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
man,
go.
we got Aaron, Pittman. Super Mario just pulled up out of here. And, of course, we got Doug, man. Shout out to Stiller Mike. Shout out to Terry. Shout out to T. Shout out to the whole team, man. Hey, we'll catch y'all next time. The Waterboyz Show. We are out.
Kill the camera.